What's up, everybody? It's Seth with Amped Electric Games. As you guys know, I'm traveling all around the country and interviewing all of the best EUC riders. I'm here in Portland, Oregon with EUC Side Street Reny.
What's up, man?
EUC Side Street Reny is one of my favorite EUC riders of all time. He's actually one of the reasons why I got into this sport. You guys will hear this from a lot of the VIPs. It's to meet him. Everybody wants to learn how to do that 360 shove it and those pedal grides. So I am in the presence of greatness. Oh,
well, I appreciate that, and like it says on my videos, sometimes just create to inspire.
Yeah, man.
I can't wait till someone does one of my tricks.
As you know, I'm a big jumper and I like doing that kind of stuff. What would you consider your style?
I call it EUC Street because I'm a skater and I'm a street skater, and when I was a sponsored skater, that's what I did, was street skate. And back then it was jump ramps and mini ramps and rails and stuff. We weren't as good as kids are now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember in the days of skateboarding, the boards were a lot flatter.
When we were kids.
You were out here doing these, I call them like jib tricks or street style tricks, where you're
pretty much it.
Kind of a Rodney Mullen kind of a style guy, where you just kind of flip.
If I could hear that name before I died, then you know what I'm saying?
Well, I'll tell you, you were described as the Rodney Mullen of EUCs by multiple different people.
That's like
there. So
that's like the kind of I can go to sleep now kind of shit, you know what I mean? I really appreciate that so much.
Yeah, I think that for a lot of your stuff, you were really ahead of your time, and I think that now guys are starting to catch up, and now EUCs are starting to get more popular, and they're discovering guys like you. So, you know, it's funny too, because I'll see guys on Instagram be like, I just pulled off the first pedal grind. I'm like, wait a second, do you know who Side Street Reny is? I can't believe that you don't have 10,000 followers, you know on your page. And speaking of your page, you have a bunch of music too. Do you want to describe your music a little bit for folks?
My music is basically, I used to call it urban blues. It's like hip hop mixed with Delta blues and dancehall reggae.
Okay.
So when I was a kid, y'all watching out me, I come down for this. That's what I was when I was a little kid. And then I got signed as a rap artist, and I did hip hop for a long time. And that all ended up falling into this place where I started shunning everything and playing Delta blues. You know what I mean? And I don't know how healthy that is all the time.
I didn't know you were a hip hop artist.
I did a recording with Vanessa Williams and Brian McKnight.
Okay, nice.
Showing my age.
Nice.
Forget about that. But
so
yeah,
mid-90s type.
Yeah, mid-90s.
Mid-90s type thing. Nice.
And it evolved into hip hop, dancehall reggae, Delta blues.
Yeah.
So the three things that shaped my life ended up in one pile. And that's kind of what I feel like I am here on the unicycle, is everything's just kind of coming together. I was a surfer, snow skater, and all these things, I just mushed them together, I guess. I want to make them all do the other thing. So I want my skateboard to do a pedal grind.
You grew up skateboarding, I grew up skateboarding. I remember the days out on the skate ramp. My big musical influences were like Agent Orange and Operation Ivy, Minor Threat, Fugazi.
Because I was gonna say, you go back a few more years, and that's where I'm at with Minor Threat and Fear and all these. Like in the '80s, when I was a little kid, way too young to be going out to punk gigs. You know, I went out to my first punk gig when I was like 9, 10, so.
I remember going to ska shows in my hometown where you'd like bring a can of soup to get in, like bring the soup to get in.
I got obsessed with English punk rock at one point. Then I was like GBH, Exploited, all the just English punk. The same thing with the blues. Yeah. Everything else sucks. It's not like I'm English, but everything else sucks.
I'm really excited that you're coming to the Amped Electric Games.
I'm so excited to ride with anybody.
Yeah, that's awesome. What did you think when you got the call? Were you surprised?
I didn't know what to think. Okay. Like I didn't know like what to think. I was confused. You know what I mean? I was like, at first I was like, so I don't get to compete? Like that was my first thought. Like, wow. I'm blown away. I'm so like humbled by the whole.
It's really interesting, this trip, because I feel like I'm meeting folks, I'm riding their terrain, I'm discovering all the different styles that everybody has. I mean,
The slight differences that you don't see on video. and
it's
stuff,
crazy.
right?
It's really wild how everybody has a different style. And part of that uniqueness in style is that everybody kind of had to invent it. Where I live, I was the only one riding EUCs for a long time. You were the only one riding EUCs.
6
For
years.
a while. So you draw your inspiration from skateboarding and surfing and
Skateboarding, surfing, and snow skating, which was a skateboard with a ski underneath.
okay.
So
I
that,
think I remember seeing those. Those were cool.
yeah, that was I was so stuck on that for a minute.
What do you think about going out to Bentonville? You ever been to Arkansas before?
Never been to Arkansas, but
You ever think you were gonna go to Arkansas?
I play Roots Blues, yo.
Yeah.
So I have some heroes from Arkansas.
Okay, yeah, nice.
But yeah, farthest I've gone down from New York is North Carolina. I have a friend in North Kakalaki or whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
another blues musician.
I love North Carolina.
Have a cool place.
Electric Airbender, one of our riders, is actually in, I think, Charlotte.
Yeah, he's in the bigger city.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome. He talks to me sometimes.
As far as the events, I know that we're going to have a street style course. I'm hoping that you can help me set that up out at the Amped Electric
Of
Games.
course.
We'll get some ledges out there, maybe
Of course, yeah.
some grindage areas.
Well, you
would be
guys are going
awesome.
to have jumps, right?
Yeah, so let me tell you a little bit about how it's set up, because this is one of the things I've been working on is the map, and we have a giant oval, and that's going to kind of be the center
The
of
race.
attention, so to speak. And then inside the oval, we'll have 3 separate tracks. We'll have a green, a blue, and a black. And then we'll have the bus jump, which will be at the end of the black line. And then what we were thinking about doing is using that track for multi-purpose, meaning that we could do some artistic type dance.
Well, that's live and stuff, right?
In front of that track there.
Yeah.
We can also set up some grinds and
Chapeau,
some
my boy
ledges.
Chapeau.
Chapeau's going to be there. I'm super excited to have
Doesn't
him
chapeau
there.
mean hat?
Chapeau means it does. It does. It means hubcap. I was told. Actually, thank you, Kelly Chameleon and Mike Leahy, for doing some research. I'm not sure how accurate they are, but they said that it's a play on words in
Yeah.
French and to
Chapeau
mean
de
hubcap. So it's pretty interesting. I've seen you ride the King Song 14D and also the V5F. What would you say is your favorite wheel for trick riding?
The V5F is the favorite for spin tricks, technical floor stuff, but it'll break. You know what I mean? I have to go inside of it and disconnect things. I reinforce the case, I cut the case. I do a lot to make that thing do what I do.
Yeah.
And the King Song 14D, take it out of the box, charge it, go.
Okay. So 14.
There's no mods on that thing at all,
okay.
at all, and it's very strong. Unfortunately, they did change the rim formula, so they bend.
Okay. Do you recommend that people ride with a pretty high tire pressure in order to kind of counteract that?
That's such a really hard one. It's such a hard one because a lot of technical tricks need. It's like a lot of technical tricks are like trials bike riding,
Okay. Yeah,
right?
yeah,
On a
yeah.
slightly flatter tire.
So you're bouncing.
So you
off.
can get up on something and not. So it's slightly low tire pressure and then a rim that can handle it.
Okay.
The V5F has an unbreakable rim.
So if you could put a V5F rim on a 14D, you'd be good.
Oh God, you'd be set.
Okay.
But you have this crumbly light thing. Oh, and then it weighs 25 pounds. The King Song weighs 30 pounds. You're looking at like what, 80, 90 pounds? That what you're trucking around on, right?
Right.
So yeah, the lighter it is, the easier tech stuff is, but the 14D is the best all-around unicycle for everything. You can do a 360 shove it on it. You can jump off anything, do grinds on it. You can even send it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It has a 800 watt motor, which is pretty decent for a little 14. You know what I mean?
420 watt-hour
Battery.
which is respectable.
Yeah, it's enough to get to your favorite skate park, ride and come home.
Right.
Whereas my V5F, a lot of times I'm going home at 1 mile an hour, like, oh,
Right.
it's gonna die, it's gonna die.
The reason I bought my 14D was watching your tricks.
Really?
Yeah.
You wanted to
I
do
wanted
some
to
stuff.
emulate your tricks, and I found that it was a lot easier to jump into the air than it was to do those little jump tricks. It's so much easier to go forward, and I think that For a lot of the tricks that you do, it seems like you kind of come to a stall or a near stall.
Yeah, it depends on what it is. I always personally like it better when I keep rolling, but a lot of times I'm doing a setup for something else.
Right, and those like the
I do a shove it to set up for everything.
Okay.
So I do a shove it first.
Yeah.
And the like logic behind that is because you know what I mean. It's like
can.
you know what? Well, it's like you know what I mean.
Put
It's like
together
something,
a couple tricks. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the other reason is you're putting it backwards, and most of the tricks that I'm going to do are going to make me go backwards, or the wheel's going to turn backwards, and da-da-da-da. So I always do a shove it so it's backwards, and then when I do I'm going the right way on the unicycle.
Yeah,
I have
that
to
makes
turn around, but the unicycle, and as you guys all know, there's not much of a difference, but they like going forward more. You know what I mean? And it wants to lean odd when you ride it backwards.
Yeah, it always feels a little weird.
Little odd,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's the only big thing.
I think I saw you riding an S22 recently. What did you think about that wheel?
It was so awesome, dude.
It was awesome. The suspension
someone over 40 needs that S18. Period. That thing is like, oh.
Like a Cadillac.
But it's that wide.
Yeah, it's really wide.
It's really wide. I didn't like it. I was gonna get one, and I was waiting until one came in at Rev Rides for them to hook me up with that. But I started realizing because my buddy Scotty, One Wheel Scotty, he has an S18. So that's the one I was riding.
Yeah.
And it was fun putting it up on high things and dropping off anything. The cement thing over there, like literally off anything.
Yeah, you don't even feel it. Just
no.
Yeah.
And that was neat. But when it came down to it, it's got a shock sticking out the back.
Right.
It's got open doors right here. It's got pistons going down right here next to the pedal. It's just waiting for me to stick my leg in it and brake.
Right. It's not the type of thing that you'd be doing a lot of trick riding.
No,
on,
but
your jam,
but the 18XL, which is what I'm getting instead of the S18, and that's basically a big 14D. It's just a big 14D.
Right, 18-inch 14D.
That's all it is. No battery sticking out, nothing. It's just a nice round piece of machine.
I've heard great things about the 18XL. I've heard it's a very stable wheel. I've heard that it's great for new riders. I've heard that it has great waterproofing.
It's really controllable. The fact that it's skinny is really great.
2.5-inch tire makes it have a lot more spinniness to it. Yeah, I noticed that a lot of the jugglers, poi artists, flow artists that ride EUCs, a lot of them ride the 18XL
or the 16.
Or the 16X.
Yeah. Like my boys, Cascadia, and my other boys from Portland, they all ride the 16.
So do you ever get out on group rides here in Portland?
I used to do it all the time. And if you look at some of my old videos, there was nothing cooler when I was the only unicycle rider here. And I used to ride with one-wheelers.
Nice, yeah.
That's it.
That 14D will keep up great with an XR.
Well, one-wheelers don't go fast.
That's true.
Neither
does the 14D.
So there you go. The 14D is actually faster than the V5F at least.
Yeah.
It goes 18, I think.
Do you find that you use them for getting around everything that you do?
I don't drive.
Okay. All right. So you use your EUCs for everything.
I use my EUC for everything. My wife usually uses her electric bike, but it's down right now.
Okay.
And aside from that, I don't really like to go places on my unicycle necessarily, like far, And I used to do that during the Friday night rides. I used to ride from here all the way down to the ride, which is many miles, and then all the way back home.
What were you riding then?
For a while, I was riding the 18XL.
Okay.
And then I traded it in at Rev for the 16S. Because I was like, I can't stand this big thing. Give me a littler one. And the second I got it and then rode it for a month, I was like, man, I should have kept the other one.
Yeah.
So.
These guys are killing it on this.
Are you kidding me?
So is this one of your favorite spots then?
Oh, this is my local park. That was sick. I have another skate park by my house, about the same distance.
Okay.
But I like this one because the skaters are nicer here.
Oh, really? So do you find that you get a lot of angst from
skaters? Oh, no, I get props from skaters usually. Nice. All it takes is for you to do a skate trick.
Right.
All it takes is you do a 360 shove it, and they're like, hold on a second here, bro. And then they're like, cool.
I was talking to Mike, and Mike rides places like Burnside, and he said
that's really, really sketchy because they will beat up a BMXer.
Yeah,
it's not a place that you should go.
You gotta roll up and just bust the fat air, and then everybody's like, "All right, that guy's okay. He can stick around."
I think the best thing you could ever do if you
stay away from Burnside.
For real though, like bikers get in trouble for going there.
Yeah.
It's a very like
skateboard.
You know, it came up from nothing. It was built from nothing. We're proud of it in Portland, I guess.
Yeah.
You know.
So did you ever ride there?
No. The thing I would recommend for anybody that wants to ride skate parks and feels sketched about it, all you got to do is have a backpack with a skateboard sticking out of it.
Oh, okay.
Period, dude.
Yeah.
You roll up and set your skateboard down. Ain't nobody gonna say shit. What the hell are they gonna say?
Yeah.
As long as you can actually ride it. You know what I mean?
At least drop in, I imagine.
Yeah. I mean, you literally can drop in, do a rock and roll,
or something, rock and roll,
and then just put it away and grab your units.
I've never really had many problems at all with skaters. No. I know that one thing that's big with me and has always been is just park etiquette.
Yeah.
Pursuit. I saw Chapeau recently do a move where he was riding on two wheels, let one go,
go around and pick it up again.
And that's another thing I've seen the Chinese riders do as well.
Yeah.
So you guys have drawn a lot of inspiration, it seems, from
of course.
the Chinese acrobats.
Because like when I was in contact with China constantly about stuff, and in that day it was still so new that I actually talked to people at King Song, you know what I mean? It was like always interested in what they were doing over there because,
they were on the cutting edge.
They were on the cutting edge. And like I said, when I got my first Freeman, I would watch the company, you know what I mean? And they put out their first little video, and a kid's going down, the stairs are like, not gnarly stairs, but the kid's going down them backwards. And right then I was like, okay, there's more here than people are giving it credit for. You know what I mean? There's more here. And then I found videos of people riding up top, and, it's usually very acrobatic stuff.
Yeah.
They do the most gnarly things possible. You know what I mean?
How long have you been riding?
Since 2015.
2015. Wow. And when you began riding, are there certain riders that you drew inspiration from?
Just Hirsute and this cat named Jonathan from England who quit literally from one day to the next. He was like, his baby got born, boom. Done. Never saw another video again. Boom. He got into some other art and stuff too, but.
And you mentioned Hirsute?
Yeah, me, Jonathan, and Hirsute were like homies in like 2015 when there wasn't anybody to talk to except for maybe someone Chinese.
And how were you communicating then? Is that
me and Hirsute, it's like I'm middle of the night and like, you know what I mean? We're just talking to each other.
Hirsute was over in France?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's in France.
And where was Jonathan?
In England.
In England. Okay, so this is a multinational.
Yeah.
Would you call it, so you guys were all in pursuit of the latest, greatest tricks?
That's all we wanted, was something
to be able to say that you were the first one to do.
For example, but he's a circus performer. You want something better. You always are striving to flip more, to do, you know what I mean? It's like, even a dancer, you know what I mean? The dancer wants to get more elevation. He wants his splits to get out further. He wants, and you're going to keep doing that.
Sure.
Until you're 26 and they kick you off the stage.
So what was the trick that you guys were all pursuing at that time?
That first one was the 360 shove it.
360 shove it?
360 shove it. We were all like, it's possible. And if you look, there's a video of him. He used to put out videos of him on the stage, and he'd do super duper clown stuff, and he'd sit on the pedal and like do stuff, and he can do a handstand and all this stuff. He used to do all of those tricks on a little stage, and then the videos would be him trying different stuff, but in between, I mean, we don't even do that now. In between, he's Chapeau, right? When he's hitting it, he's me, right? When he's hitting a wall and some other shit, he's you. Like, he literally was like, he didn't like to jump very much because he's a very sensitive guy, you know what I mean? Yeah. But he could do, literally, it was, so all I had to do is push him a little bit, and we're like, we should do this. And he'd be like, and he'd try it and maybe fall or land it, and we'd try. And so we landed it.
That is awesome. That is, it's just, it's still a very impressive trick, and it's the trick that a lot of the EUC riders, the other VIPs, were like, I want Rennie to teach me how to do a 360 shove it.
It's so easy, yo.
So at the Amped Electric Games, can I get you to commit to doing a clinic on how to
360
perform
on shove-its in general?
Yeah,
just shove-its in general.
Just to shove it in general.
Because
that'd be awesome.
The good thing when you mention the shove-it, to me it's the ollie. You know what I mean? To me it's the little thing that kind of ties everything together. You know what I mean? It's the kind of the basic, because if you can do a shove-it, you can do varials and you can do all the other things. If you can do a shove-it, you can jump off something backwards. You can, you know what I mean? You can get up something and do a shove-it. You can right your wheel because it's backwards. You can do all these things that you add to it. You know what I mean? And all the little things that I came up with, like the step shove-it where it shoves and I step off and jump back on it. You know what I mean? These little goofy tricks.
I think I saw you doing a fast plant or something.
That's my favorite, is a foot plant. Because that's so goofy to people. People are like, what? The skaters are like, oh, hey.
Do you still skateboard?
I haven't for a while.
Yeah.
I posted a video of me in Santa Cruz not that long ago.
I tried to get on a skateboard the other day and I was like,
it feels,
leaning to make it go.
It feels so wrong because we're used to riding this way and then you go back this way and you're like,
yeah.
But I do like when I get on my buddy's one wheel.
Or one wheels are a lot of fun. I was just out at Shredfest and we had some EUC races out there. We set up some
Shredfest? Oh, okay. I thought you meant that Hickabilly one. That place was freaking ill.
Swampfest?
Swampfest. I was like, that place looks kind of gnarly. Just like mud everywhere. It's just
I'm telling you, man, when they called me up on the stage, or when the guy was like, hey.
Tunnel thing.
He's like, ride that portable karaoke machine over here.
There you go.
And then he goes,
I want to see that fucker on the ramp.
I want to see that thing on the ramp. So they stopped the line of bikers. So I had 100 bikers that were really mad at me.
And waiting.
Because they put me in front. He said, get that guy over here. I want to see him do the ramp.
That was when you were doing the whole. And
so he put me in front of all those guys. So I got called every name in the book all the way up there. But I'll tell you one thing, man. As soon as I cleared that tabletop and went down into that tunnel, even though I fell and crashed,
that's when people were like, yes.
The entire crowd, I won them over, and that's when they started chanting one wheel.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna stop them. I wasn't gonna
stop. No, bro, that's a whole
wrong device. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to going to Bentonville. So here's my thing is I'm trying to take EUC and blend it into all these other events.
Yeah.
I went to Float Life Fest, which is a one-wheel event. I went to...
There's one coming up here too.
Swamp Fest, Shred Fest. Anywhere that they're riding, and coming up is Bentonville Bike Fest and Bentonville Bike Fest.
That too, and we got here on the 16th is Float Fest. We got this whole
Northwest
Electric Festival, and it's gonna be so fun. And we got a lot of one-wheelers up here.
Yeah, that's
a lot of one-wheelers. So it's gonna be cool, and they're gonna have an EUC contest too for us.
Nice.
It should be fun. And
yeah, they had one at Shredfest. So Rennie, you've been in this industry for a while, and you've kind of seen it. It seems like it's been crawling, and maybe we're starting to take some little baby steps. Where do you think we are in the progression of the industry as far as EUCs go?
Well, like if you compare it, like I do everything, to skateboarding, you know what I mean? Skateboarding is beyond mainstream now. It's just normal. It's like, you know what I mean? And kids do tricks that you're like, dude, like seriously, just stop, all right?
Where's
Come
the
on
CGI?
Now.
You guys,
seriously, you're
CGI.
like, bro. But it's like that same thing. I come from an era when we had skate parks. I rode, and then they tore them all down.
Yeah.
They got rid of every single one of them. We weren't allowed to do anything anymore. We couldn't ollie up onto a curb. We couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
We literally got arrested for doing skateboard tricks and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it went, and then they started putting in skate parks on their own, and they realized one sign and everything's cool, yo. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do that. Boom.
All right, we'll be cool.
We're done. Where we're at is somewhere around before the skate parks is what I'm scared about.
Yeah.
And I love every one of my homies, right? But I'm scared about the street stuff. I'm really scared that that's gonna make people hate us.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, we're in a place where we have electric bikes laying around everywhere.
It's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. We've got these like electric bikes and all this stuff, so it's all kind of messing up. We've got bikes that are too big to be in the bike lane. the kids did something. What was it? It was electric bikes and those scooters that. So all of a sudden, I'm not allowed to go on the bus with my wheel anymore.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I feel like we are, I can't tell you how many people a week go, I've never seen anything like that before.
And I'm always like, where have you been?
And I imagine that for skateboarding, that happened in like the late 70s, maybe?
Somewhere around the late 70s, early 80s,
like, holy cow, you took a 2x4 and put 2 roller skates. You had mentioned something about possibly playing for us at the Amped Electric Games. Are you still interested in doing that?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And it's cool. I'll just bring my guitars and Belle plays drums. So.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So we don't really need to bring the whole. I actually might be able to get my bass player to come.
I know that we've got a couple other people in the community that wanted to play too. So I'm excited. Maybe we can get somebody to do some stand-up comedy. I don't know. Maybe we'll just have a talent show. Do you follow a lot learning these tricks and practicing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Sprained, dislocated thumbs, 2 stretched and pulled ankles, broken toes, bruised rib, my face. But yeah, I fall like a skater, and that's what you do. Skaters don't wear pads because they're not gonna fall, and if they fall, that's like how skaters do, and that's what I kind of try and bring to my EUC riding is, try it. It might hurt like a mother. You might fall a whole bunch of times, but I bet you could get it.
Probably the best thing that happened to me for my EUC career was skateboarding as a kid and learning the mechanics of falling or just dissipating the energy. I never rode with pads. I never rode with helmets when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I fell all the time. I had bruises. But again,
I broke my ankle down in LA when I was supposed to go to the contest. And I did it in this jump thing where I'm doing an over, the wheel goes under and I jump over the
hippie hop.
Basically a hippie jump,
hippie jump,
but on a unicycle.
Okay.
So I did that and twisted my ankle and friggin' stretched and broke the ligaments or whatever the hell happened.
Yeah.
That was a year after I fell and was literally out of commission. I got back up, and before I could feel the pain, I made it. So you see the video where I landed after I almost died and I'm out of commission for months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm gonna do this before I friggin' leave. That's kind of skateboarding too.
Yeah.
That's how you guys are with the sends. You don't land it, you're gonna be like, oh hell no, wait a minute. How steep is this? Okay. Next, put the camera down, let's go. I'm gonna land this shit.
Yeah.
That's
It's that drive that you just, I don't know. It's hard to explain. What do you feel like drives you? I mean, why do you get up every morning and get on your EUC and come out here?
It's one of the only times in my life where my ADD mind turns off to some extent. You know what I mean? And all I'm focused on, like my kendama. When I play kendama, these are things, or when I play my guitar, that I'm able to escape. And unicycle gives me something to achieve, right? To be better at. It makes me forget everything, every bit of pain, and everything that's going on until I go back home. You know what I mean? So it means a lot to me. 5 years ago, like I said, I stopped touring, you know, and I needed, besides just writing new songs, something that was like gonna help me achieve and create. So the second I found the unicycle and did a pedal grind, I was like, okay.
So it sounds like it's an artistic outlet for you. It's also a therapeutic for you.
Completely. Both to 100%.
I feel the same. I feel like, some days when I'm feeling really frustrated or angsty, I'm like, I need a ride. Some guys are like, I need a cigarette, I need a drink, I need a ride. And I think that's the healthiest mindset you can be in. Like, I need to get exercise. I need to go out and clear my mind.
Yeah, you can't really front on that, because it is what it is, and no one can come and say, oh, blah, 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 you don't get enough exercise because you're not pedaling, blah. And all I want to say usually is, dude, stand on this thing for 4 miles. Just stand on it. Bend your legs slightly, then talk to me. Right. And that dude ain't going to make it halfway down the block, because it does take some energy and some practice, and, it's not just some easy thing.
Right.
And especially like with you guys, you know what I mean? You have BMX and then you have it turned into motocross, you know what I mean? And you guys are somewhere in there, right? but you've skipped BMX and gone straight to motocross, and that's what happened. You guys just do motocross basically. You go to the same freaking tracks and do motocross.
We do motocross at the bike tracks sometimes.
That is funny. That is funny on those pump tracks too, because I was explaining to my girl how BMX works and how it's all this cool pumping and like their body stays exactly the same.
Really,
and then they clear one and it's like so close to it. It's like so pretty. But then you go to that place and get all chunky. And everyone's like.
We went to one of those the other day, and it was one where it's like all super smooth like that.
And then a berm.
And then a berm, and then the big tabletop.
Okay.
And I was like, screw it, man. I just went up really high on the berm, cleared the tabletop. It was like 25 feet or something. And the BMX kids were like, what the hell? Did you see what he did on that thing?
They're already blown away the fact that it stays upright anyways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you do a trick on it. And they're like,
Yeah, I find that I draw inspiration from whoever I'm riding with. Like, I ride with mountain
wish I could
bikers,
say that,
I ride
man.
with BMXers, I ride with skateboarders, I ride
just
with...
skaters, you know?
Yeah.
Just skaters. I don't have anyone else. Oh, I get along really well with rollerbladers
Yeah.
because we're outsiders.
Those
It's
guys are
amazing.
getting inverted, they're doing all kinds of stuff. It's crazy. I've heard people say that EUCs are like the rollerblades of the 2020s or something like that, but you know, the way I look at EUCs is it's such a niche sport right now, or such a niche industry, and the barrier to entry is so high. I mean, not a lot of people have $2,000 to throw at a sport that they don't even know they're gonna like.
That's what I've been tripping on so much, is how much money you guys spend on the big wheels. I mean, when I had to buy one, I would spend $500 for a wheel.
Yeah.
$500. I mean, that's just in that range of like, all right, let me see if it sticks. You know what I mean? And throw it to the. Now, $2,000 is a place where not everyone can just.
If you can find one for 2,000, I mean, a lot of the wheels are pushing 3. Some are pushing 4
pushing
now.
4 now. The
It's crazy.
Commander and those other giant.
What do you think of those big EUCs? Have you ridden like the Monster Pro?
I've ridden an RS and I've ridden the S18.
EXN?
I rode that S20, that new thing.
Yeah.
But I got to ride it for literally 2 seconds. I rode it around my parking lot, did a trick.
You did a trick.
And then Nate was like, I gotta go.
He's like, don't drop it.
No, he's like, hurt it, dude, hurt it. It's
Did he really?
It's a demo anyways,
Oh, no.
you know what I mean? And he's like, hurt it. So
Well-
I did a couple tricks on it, but I never really got to go out and ride it.
What if that's the one that Mike baptized?
No, because I remember bringing that up. I was like, I thought this thing died.
I feel bad for all the riders that weren't going to get to try it.
Yeah.
But hey, it's been amazing to sit down
Likewise.
and talk to you, man.
Likewise.
I'm hoping that
Finally.
maybe you can help me out, show me how to do a couple of these tricks.